Hi, my name is Maria Solano, and this is my Who Am I presentation. So, my family comes from Ecuador. I am first-born American citizen. My parents and my big sister came to the United States in the late 70s, early 80s because my dad was seeking better opportunities to pursue his career and his education in chemical engineering. That's the reason why they decided to leave Ecuador and they moved to New York, where some of the hardships that they faced was the language barrier. They weren't able to communicate with a lot of people. However, they did move into a community that was predominantly Hispanic. So, with that community and that support, they were able to communicate with the outside world, basically. My big sister, however, she was bullied because of the language barrier, and it got to a point where it was very violent. So my family decided to drop everything and move to South Florida, where my dad had to give up his education and take care of his family of five financially. The previous generations in my family, they were not very educated. Most of their schooling ended around fifth grade. Women were taught to raise babies, to have babies, to raise families, and to take care of the home, while the men worked whatever job they could, whether it was selling fruit in the corner at the market or whatever they could sell. Mostly it was a lot of selling things that they could get their hands on in order to provide for their families on a day-to-day basis. The language that we spoke was Spanish or is Spanish. My parents are fluent in Spanish only. I am fluent in English and Spanish, and my kids are currently learning to speak Spanish as they are only fluent in English. Some of the traditions that we brought over, we are Catholic, so we observe all Catholic holidays like Lent and Easter. We do baptize our children in the Catholic Church, and they do complete their first communion and their confirmation by the time that they are in their teen years. Some other traditions that we do have, which is in a lot of Hispanic countries, are the coming of age for girls, which is their 15th birthday, or the Fiesta de Quinces, and they're called quinceañeras. So that's a big one in our family that we do celebrate. It's celebrated with a lot of food, a lot of dancing, big party, basically. The meaning behind my maiden name, which is Romero, is of Spanish or Italian descent, and it means pilgrim. The name was given to those people who were on a religious journey to Jerusalem at the time. So that's something new that I learned. It's also, Romero also means rosemary in Spanish, which is the herb. And our surname, Romero, hasn't really changed over the years. I do think that my dad having three daughters, the last name is going to end with us, though. Immigrants today and refugees today are facing the same thing that my family faced at the time. They're just seeking better opportunities for their families, to improve their quality of life, and that's how I see that some of the people who are coming now, the United States is perceived as this country where opportunities can come to those who work hard, and that's the same reasons why my family decided to come here, to be able to support their family financially and to give better life to their children, which it did. And we're very grateful for the sacrifices my parents made by leaving all of everything that they knew behind. This exercise was fairly easy for me. I've always asked questions, and I actually did live in Ecuador for a time, so we we grew up knowing our history and our background and how our family was raised and how our family came to be. So, yeah, that's basically it. I hope you've enjoyed this video and I can't wait to see yours.